with so many things up in the air in this region of the world and so many U.S. interests at stake, what is it going to take from the U.S. to reach that equilibrium, that Zen state of contentment that we can finally live with in the region, and particularly related to North Korea?
Well, I think there are at least two endings to this story that would be quiescent, I guess, if not peaceful. One would be you just slink away. We left Vietnam. We know how to do this. It's not like we haven't done it before. And you just simply reduce your troop levels and your defense commitments. Maybe you let them go nuclear and you hope for the best. Maybe you don't let them go nuclear. You work with China, but you reduce your commitments and they become satellites of China, roughly like Finland became a satellite of the Soviet Union during the Cold War. That is not the preferred outcome for a lot of people, I think, in Washington. But the alternative is pretty dramatic as well. It would require, at a minimum, that the Kim family, which rules over North Korea, be put out to pasture. And, like maybe they all take a long trip to, some Disney World feature in China, and they stay. They never come home. They just play golf for the rest of their lives. I mean, I don't really know how this works. But if they should exit, the North Korean government might very well be easier to work with on a lot of questions. At a minimum, the brutalization of their own population might stop. There might be an easier way to have better relations not only with South Korea, but China. And a path to unification might be possible. You'd have to probably deal with the equivalent of crimes against humanity for a number of people, but not everybody. The communist regime, if you were lucky, might be transitional, and at some point maybe they'd have, some form of more benign rule. The United States would have to work with China to reach some kind of understanding. China doesn't want troops in the North. We don't want the nuclear weapons in the North. Perhaps we can cut a deal. We work together to get rid of the nuclear weapons, and the United States reduces its defense presence in Korea. Ambassador John Bolton, who's no dove, maybe is the way to put it, actually has proposed reducing our presence to withdrawal to the Pusan perimeter, which was where we landed to save South Korea during the Korean War. It's a very small place. So I think we need to start bending our minds around those kinds of propositions. But then that would mean we would have to treat North Korea like, and particularly the Kim family, the way we treated the Soviet Union during the Cold War. We never really recognized the legitimacy of communist rule. We dealt with them, we negotiated, we had deals with them, we had embassies, but we did not recognize the legitimacy, and we always said we would prefer them to go out of business, which luckily they did. We're going to have to start thinking, do we want to do that? Also, we have to help people actually get out of there and protect the people that have left in places like China, where they're forced into dreadful situations because they can threaten to push them back into North Korea with horrific consequences for some of these people. That's against treaties that China has reached about refugee conventions. We need to enforce those. So, it's a tall order, it's a long slog, but the other would take a long time too. So I think those are the most interesting possibilities.